International break number 2 has suddenly arrived, and the matches this weekend are tending towards David and Goliath affairs. But, as we always say, international breaks bring strange results. Right? We've said that before. Not in so few words, but essentially we have. We're on the lookout for something unexpected today on Coffee with a Kick. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with a Kick. That's not a jingle, it's just I sang it this time, okay? Don't freak out. We're back here for the last set of matches before the international break, which will take up the next 2 weekends following this. We'll have a break from the end of these on the 6th through to the 19th, a full 13 days of rest and relaxation. Oh my goodness, we'll be so rested and coming back that you'll barely even recognize. I may not even have the same haircut, although we do have the recap episode, and I do plan to get a haircut this weekend. That's beside the point. Anything that you want to say before we roll right into our Saturday action?
I'm ready for it. I think the players also like a break. Not that they really get one because they're going to be going internationally, but I think it'll be an exciting last match week before the break.
I don't know. The matchups aren't that great. I don't know.
I think it'll be more exciting than you think, at least.
All right, that may very well be the case. That's Keegan. I'm Xander. I will get these introductions in before we get started. So now let's keep going. Saturday, October 5th, one of my relatives' birthday. I won't blow up that person's spot, but it is their birthday. At 7:30 a.m., Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park hosts Liverpool. How much of a chance do you think Crystal Palace has in this one? The floundering Crystal Palace, I will call them.
I think they're going to flounder their way into fresher waters with this one.
Really?
I think Liverpool is going to be overlooking them, and I think Crystal Palace at home is going to take the victory 2-1.
2-1 you've got for Crystal Palace. That is bold. But it is Liverpool, so I guess that only makes sense. You want City back on top of the table for the international break. I'm taking the favorites here. Liverpool, I think, takes it 3-0. I said a few weeks ago that Crystal Palace is going to catch someone. They apparently caught me into thinking that they could catch someone, is what they caught. So not really happy with them as a squad right now. Just going to let 7:30, that's a good slot. I'll come in at the very end and watch them seal up that 3-0 loss to Liverpool. Then to our 10 a.m.s, which we've got a good smattering of, not as many as we've had in the past, but a good smattering this week. Arsenal hosts Southampton at the Emirates Stadium in London. For this one, I think another one where I think that really, okay, Keegan, we got to go with this one, all right? I've got a 4-1 Arsenal. You could play the units like you did last week for Leicester, but it's 19 units this time. Does that tempt you? Does that tempt you for Southampton?
I don't think it'll be 4-1. I think you're giving Southampton too much credit there. I think it'll be 4-0 Arsenal. Yeah, this one's just too much of a... See, I'll say it's too much of an obvious play, and Southampton will come out and win 1-0.
Right.
Or something crazy, but I'm going to play Champions League. That Wednesday action really got me reeling. I mean, going 2-7 on one day, that's got me feeling pretty slumpy. So I'm going to get out of my slump and pick Arsenal.
Listen, I know we didn't cover it in that episode, but you did end up with more units than picking the favorites in that one. So, you give yourself a little bit of grace on that.
Meh.
Okay. I mean, when it comes to money, meh is a fair answer. So 4-1, 4-0. I think that one of us will get that right. Perfectly right. It's not going to help us much because it's still in 1.14 decimal units. So it's not a lot of movement. But you know what? Perfect picks double it for us. Then 2-1. I was so happy and said maybe we can... I will take a point against Brentford here. Brentford versus my Wolves. Do you think we can manage an away point at Brentford? Them bees?
I think that you're going to manage 3.
No.
I think you're going to win 2-1. Because I think Brentford has been struggling with finishing matches. as we've seen, they've gotten 3 straight early goals, and they can't finish with all 3 points.
Fair.
I think Wolves are going to smell some blood, and they're going to win 2-1.
Would that it were that it would be so? What is that saying? Wish that it were so, and maybe that's what it is. Wish that it could be that way, but I think it's going 2-1 the other way. Brentford and Wolves. I think that we get the early goal and give it up this time. I think that it's a silly Cunha breakaway. Flip the script on Brentford, but they flip the script. They flip and flop right back on us, and then end up giving away.
Snip, snap.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I don't have any confidence. Right, this is the first good match of the season where we should be getting 3 points. I just don't know. I don't know if we have the gumption at the moment to do so. I don't know if we have it within us. Then to one that's more of a toss-up. Leicester hosts Bournemouth. I have it going as a 2-0 victory for that good old AFC Bournemouth. They've been a bit up and down here these past couple weeks, but they're beating the sides that they're supposed to be beating. I mean, they beat Everton a few weeks ago. They beat Southampton last week. I think that they continue on here and beat Leicester as well to stay in a good position on the table.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Leicester was going to do something last week. I wish they would do something this week. I think it's going to be a goal fest, though. I think this will actually be an exciting match, but I think Bournemouth takes it 3-2. I think Leicester, similarly to how I feel about Ipswich, they might not be there yet, but they seem to be forming their new sense of what it's like to be back in the Premier League. But I think Bournemouth is just playing too well, and I think they're going to win 3-2.
Hey, I mean, as long as you're agreeing with me, so I'm not going to complain about it. I'll just take the units. Then to another one I think like is probably pretty safe. Manchester City at home hosts Fulham. Now for this one, I know Fulham has had some decent results here lately. Do you think that they can get a point out of City at the Etihad? The third draw in a row for City?
I think City win 3-1.
Hey.
And I'll leave it at that. I don't think it's...
I've got the same thing. I don't trust him to keep a clean sheet, but I do trust him to score 3 goals. Every week, I will take a 3-1 result for Manchester City every week, basically. Unless they're playing like Arsenal or Liverpool or Aston Villa. I also wouldn't take it against Chelsea because it would be more goals than that, probably. On both sides. But 3-1 I think is certainly a good pick for Manchester City with your anytime goal scorer, Erling Haaland.
Yeah, you might as well do it just for the sake of it, because I don't know who's going to stop him at Fulham. They don't have Tim Ream anymore.
They don't got that.
They had him back there. You
Mr.
would know
Cast.
Haaland would not score.
Mr. Broken Arm from last season. He's a lot to handle, Erling Haaland. I don't know if you know this. He's a lot to handle. Then I think this is up to our 12:30. Nope, not yet. One more. Also in London Stadium, West Ham hosts Ipswich Town. Now for this one, this is my surprise pick of the week. I have Ipswich Town winning this 2-1. I think that they've got a shot. I think that they are the ones I'm picking to win. That's as far as my rationale has gone on this. They've drawn 4 in a row. They've shown that they can withstand and draw. I mean, a 2-2 draw versus Aston Villa is a good result. So I think that they are able to take that momentum into West Ham and get themselves a full 3 points.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that West Ham are not playing to their talent. And as I mentioned in our pre-Premier League episode, our prediction episode for the whole season, I said West Ham without David Moyes is just not a good team. They don't know how to play. All the players they have now, for the most part, were brought in for David Moyes' system. Mm-hmm. They didn't really go out and get a ton of new players except a couple of midfielders and obviously Kilman from Wolves. But I think Ipswich has enough to get a point. I think it's going to go 2-2 in a draw. Mm. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a fifth straight draw. Ipswich, they know how to get in a match, stay in a match.
Listen,
And I think that's important for a team where they're at right now in the season, because they will start to get some victories.
Yeah, and they will be well out of relegation zone at 5 points. And they'll be at 5, right? Yeah, they'll be well out of relegation zone at 5 points, and that'll be a nice place to be going into the second international break. Then to our 12:30 match, Everton hosts Newcastle. What do you have for this one?
You know, after watching Newcastle the last few weeks, I have a feeling that they are starting to figure it out, at least figure out who are the guys that we want to get the ball in space. Mm-hmm. And even though I still think that they're a very dirty team, I think they have the most yellow cards out of any team by a good bit. I think Everton's going to want to grind it out, and Newcastle, I think, they're stronger, they're quicker, and they just are more lethal in front of goal. I'm going to go 3-1 Newcastle.
Wow, a convincing win for Newcastle. For this one, I didn't want to pick another favorite because I've done that a lot this week. I recognize that. So I actually went with a 2-2 draw for Everton. They are at home. That helps things. Home side does really matter in this. I mean, they beat Crystal at home, but the result I have is 2-2. I'm going to repeat it because I don't have much more to say about it than that. Everton, they aren't Nottingham Forest. I haven't underestimated them that much. But they have certainly put themselves together and showed that they've scored goals when I doubted it for the first 3 matches of the year because they hadn't done that yet. But they've shown that they can produce at least a decent clip at this point. Certainly better than, is that Southampton still only at 3 goals for? Whew. That is not great, seeing as that is a half goal a game, guys. Yeah. Not stellar. Wow. Okay. We'll leave that behind. We'll leave Saturday behind. We'll move over to Sunday with the first one. I guess this is the headline of the week. The one we got coming up later on Sunday, I think, would probably be that. But still, Aston Villa hosts Manchester United at 9 a.m. We got 2 9 a.m.ers on Sunday this week. And for this one, Aston Villa is coming off of a very, very good result on the midweek from the Champions League. And I think that they carry it through. I think they take this 3-0 versus Manchester United. And I think that this would give Emi Martinez his first clean sheet of the season, which we need him to start accruing if he's going to win Golden Glove, like we both predicted.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go 3-0. I think Man U at least get 1 goal, and it goes 3-1. It's Aston Villa at home. No one's going to beat them at home right now, especially after that midweek win, and definitely not Man United. So I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Xerxes can prove you wrong from last week, where he said he's not the guy. We'll see if he can be the guy and get that one. Gives you the perfect pick. What was that?
I said we'll see.
We'll see. Probably not Xerxes. Then the other match there on Sunday morning, Chelsea hosts Nottingham Forest. Listen, I know I bash Nottingham Forest all the time, but this Chelsea side is looking really good, really organized right now. How do you think that? Do you think that Chelsea can continue to produce as they have in the past couple weeks?
You know, the pendulum always swings back and forth with Chelsea. Midweek, they scored 4 goals. They obviously scored a lot last week. I think this is going to go 1-1. I think Nottingham has the stuff to hold them at least for a little bit. But I think it goes 1-1. I think the pendulum swings back to the middle, and they get a draw.
I don't think so. I think this is another 3-1 result here for Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. We've got a lot of them predicted for this match day, but I think that this is another one. Get Nicholas Jackson on the action. Get a Cole Palmer sighting. Nottingham Forest, I don't think can keep up at that point. Then I guess this is the headliner. Brighton hosts Tottenham. We got a bird fight here. Classic bird fight. at the Amex. I've got it as a very sedate 1-1 draw. I think Brighton will take that. I think it's a better result for Brighton than it is for Tottenham. I know it doesn't quite look like that on the. Let me check myself. No, actually, they're 8th and 9th. So I think it is a better result for Brighton than it is for Tottenham, definitively. So, but 1-1, I think Tottenham will be fine with it. Not happy, but fine.
I'm looking up if an Albion would beat a Cockerel in a fight. Let's see what Google tells me. Nope, that's an online forum for a game. A young rooster and a cockerel had a fight. It would be best to not put them together until they're the same size. It's a high probability the rooster would get pounced on.
Ooh.
But, for example, cockerels do not fight hens. We're getting off track. I think Brighton takes it at home 2-1.
All right.
I think, again, they're kind of a team similarly to Man U, where we're not sure who they are, what they want to do. Can their players play up to their manager's expectations? I'm just leaning towards not thinking so. So I'm going to go 2-1. Brighton gets the victory at home.
Hey, you know what? I think that's. I'm just looking for a good match. Obviously I'm not expecting it, but I'm always looking for exciting matches, man. That's just what I want. I just want some good soccer, man. That's all I want. Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. Anything else you want to say before we head out and let these people watch their soccer?
As we mentioned before, at least about 4 weeks ago, the games right before and right after international breaks always seems to trip a couple of the big teams up. So it'll be interesting to see which teams are kind of looking over the edge to the break, and then which teams really drive the momentum into the break to secure their spots on the table.
I don't think you really picked anybody to overlook anybody. No, you picked Crystal over Liverpalace. Crystal over Liverpalace, I think would definitely be what you're talking about there.
I love me a good liver palace. That's good, for sure.
Man, liver palace that's great. Is that just the rhenologist? Is that what they're called?
Okay.
I think that's kidneys.
Perhaps.
That's kidneys. I'm not sure what you call a liver doctor. Phrenologist. No, that's different. Phrenology, that's the pseudoscience of studying the skulls that racists did. Yeah. Anyways.
Into the late night coffee with a kick hour.
Anyways, get your liver palace and go ahead and grab your coffee with your liver palace. Watch some soccer. And we'll see you on the other side. Here.